Hey guys, Armando here, and I'm back with another update on my Predator Axerator. And as you can see, I've completed the priming and all the assembly. I ended up having to pin the axe and the hand because it simply was too heavy to be held just by CA glue, and even after pinning, I've hit this darn thing a couple of times already. Clumsy me, and I've had to re-glue it, but the pin has held it in place, believe it or not. For pinning, all I used were paper clips. I took a piece of a paper clip about that long, and then I drilled holes first in the hand, in the center of this part, and then in the center of the hand, and I dabbed CA glue on the pin and then just glued it together. Then I did the same thing for this here, which is my problem thing that I've hit a couple of times, and also the part that I broke over here, and they have held surprisingly well. So I recommend pinning most heartily. In fact, since this thing is so poorly balanced, I'm probably gonna put some thicker pins, probably rods, small rods, in the heels, drill them in and sink them into the base, whichever I choose, because otherwise this thing's not going to stand still, and it's so heavy that CA glue alone is not going to hold it. So at any rate, I've begun the masking process, very laborious masking process as you might imagine, and I've been looking through the web at some of the builds that have been done for this kit. I've found some beauties out there, and I'd mentioned one before, and I'll probably use the base from that idea, but I found an even better color scheme that I liked, and it's this build right here. It's in modelzone.com by Joe Donaway, and he's got a series of pictures from back in 2007 of this guy, and I just love the combinations he's done. He chooses a brass / gold leaf type coloration for the armor and all that stuff, and here's a close-up of the face, and I just love the texture to it. I also love the red details and accents on it, and I think I can do some pretty neat stuff with the alclads, especially the candies and the metallic colors. I've already picked out brass for the armor and stuff, and I think it's gonna look great. I'm gonna see how I can emulate some of that textured marbleizing on the kit itself, which I think looks wonderful. You can see some close-ups. Well, this loses a little bit of the resolution here, but there's a shot here where you can see the skin. Here we go. And although it loses some resolution, there is texturing along the skin. Of course, there's shadowing in the creases of the muscles, but even the veins on the arms are brought out. So there's going to be some subtle shadowing that I'm going to be doing here. There's some really cool color combinations here. I'll be using some of the alclad in this, and those emeralds too, and I just think I can go wild with some of the stuff that could be done here. I'll use a mixed medium. I'll combine probably the alclads with some of the spees, or even Tamiya's, depending on what I decide to do. They all combine just fine. I've done it before. As long as you let them dry before you apply the other one, it does just fine. So anyway, I've begun the masking. As you can see, I'm going to start at the top of the head and work my way down. And the first thing I'm going to paint is the helmet. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back and show you how it looks. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm back. Let me show you some progress on my Predator Axerator. As you can see, I've painted the helmet, and what I did was first I masked off and I primered with a gloss black alclad. Then I tried some of the brass, but it looked a little too brassy, if I can describe it. So I went over it with the gold titanium, and that was a shade I was looking for. It lightened it up, and it looks a lot more like a helmet now. I hit some spots with the engine exhaust Alclad to give it more texture. As you can see, some spots in the helmet, and then I recoated some more with the gold titanium to fade them out a little bit and not make them so prominent. For the face mask, I used the Alclad ruby red candy color, and I started doing that with the I don't know what these things are, the rings on his dreadlocks, and I used the same color. I experimented with red here, Tamiya red. I don't know, I couldn't see myself painting them all that color, but I think I'll leave that one under. I kind of like the way it looks, sort of like a red jumping out amongst the ruby reds. The edges I painted with gold leaf Tamiya, and the dreadlocks I have painted with the flat black Tamiya. As you can see, I am almost done. I'm coming around this side and I am almost done. So I think I'll go ahead and finish the dreadlocks tonight and probably call it quits for the night. This guy's coming out a lot nicer than I thought he would. I think there's a lot of potential here for some interesting colors. This was all paintbrushed, by the way. I laid on the Tamiya thick without thinning, and I let it run over the dreadlocks so that paintbrush strokes would not show, and I was able to do that effectively. So they look pretty nice. I like the way they look. Anyway, I'll have another update soon. Talk to you guys later. Alright, continuing with my Predator Axerator. I've done some more detail work on him, and been painting all the jewels on his dreadlocks and doing some detail work on the skull decorations. The human skull, I painted a lighter shade that I mixed up. There's a desert yellow from Tamiya. Also there. Still have some more to paint, as you can see, but I've been adding a lot of color. I did the other shoulder pad. That was a bear, as you might imagine, with all those dreadlocks laying on top of it. Some of them got painted and I had to repaint them, of course. This is maroon Spies Hecker. I'll be painting that on the bottom there later, so it doesn't really matter if it gets oversprayed a little bit. Let's see here, that section there is a darker brown, which was basically flat black with a little bit of flat brown Tamiya. I did the same thing back here. Still a lot of detail work to be done. A lot of touch-ups. He's not perfect yet, but I'm liking the way he's looking. So we'll continue on. Take care.